Hello, welcome back to the channel. This week we're doing something a little bit different. Everybody is suffering a little bit with the economic crisis. I'm going to show you how to make a meal where you can do it either Italian style, Indian style or Chinese style using the same basic sauce. Most people will have these ingredients in their cupboard. There's some thyme, there's some basil, and on the other side there's some curry powder. Obviously, because of what I do, I've got lots and lots of Indian spices, and also the same goes to say with the Chinese and the Italian. But whatever you've got, use it. You don't need a lot to get flavour out the dish. And the idea of this is to do something that's fairly simple and quite cheap. We're using a base of cheese. We're not using any fancy wine, we're using water. And we'll make a lovely cream sauce. We'll add to that with garlic and onions, and we're going to do some chicken as our protein, and you'll see that this is a cheap and affordable meal, and the secret is taste it as you go along and see what it's like. Watch along and I'll show you how to do it. Right, for this one what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Indian style. So I'm going to use some curry powder, I'm going to use some chilies and some cardamom pods, and the Chinese and the Italian one, if you've got them, then use those, but I'm using the Indian. First thing to do is to get the garlic and the onions cut. Most Indian people will tell you to really slow cook the onions and garlic to get the maximum amount of flavour out of them. So I'll put those on first, and first thing I'll do is to start chopping the garlic. Right, next thing to do is to get your onions chopped up. Okay, also I've got some mushrooms that I had in the fridge. You don't have to have mushrooms. I've got them, so I'm going to use them. I'm just going to chop these up and then put them in with the garlic and the onions and slowly fry these as well. What I'm going to do now is cook the onions, the garlic and the mushrooms. Use whatever oil you've got. This is a little bit of sunflower oil, and it's nothing special, it's just whatever you've got to hand. You can use vegetable, you can use olive oil. Put all these ingredients into the pan and cook these quite slowly. Right, you don't want to do these too fast. Just put them in, let them do their stuff, stir it now and again and come back to them later. Right, next thing to do is prep your chicken. Nothing too hard in this. All you do is you just score the skin so that you allow the flavours to go through it. You can even take the skin off if you want. What I'm doing is I'm scoring it so that it just goes through a bit, not cutting all the way through, and you can even take the bones out of them if you want. So score it like this in a crisscross pattern, and then once you've done that, add a bit of salt and pepper to it. Not too much, just a bit, because you can always add to it and taste it a bit further along the line. Every now and again, give these a stir. I've put a lid on these so it sweats them down a bit, keeps the moisture in, stops anything from burning, and these are almost ready. It's time to cook the chicken. Same again, whatever oil you've got to hand, put enough in the bottom of the pan so that you don't burn the chicken. Doesn't matter if you catch it a little bit because you're going to deglaze it later on anyway. Put it in, the skin side down, and don't cook them too fast because you want them to cook all the way through. We'll come back to this in a minute. The onions and garlic are ready, the chicken is ready, so what we do is transfer the chicken over to the pan with the onions and garlic. There's a lot of goodness in the bottom of that pan from where we've cooked over the juices. Now what we do is we deglaze it with water. Deglaze this with some water. That takes all the bits out of the bottom of the pan, and you want quite a bit of water in there, and you're going to bring that up to quite a high heat. Water has come up to a boil, and now it's time to add the cheese. This cheese was really bottom of the range. I think it was about 70p for this. So we put this in, and this is the base for your sauce. And we'll stir this in until it all melts. I'm just gently stirring this, waiting for all the cheese to melt into the water. And then once that's done, we'll then start to add in our flavourings, and then we'll have a taste and see what they're like, and we can add a bit more. We're going to start to add the spices, and you can add more as you go along, so don't put too much in at first. This is a bit of curry powder, about half a teaspoonful there, and mix that in. Make sure you mix it all in, you don't want any lumpy bits. Put in some black cardamoms. These give a nice little bit of flavour. Don't worry if you haven't got them, just use what you have. Right, what I'm going to do now is just put in a couple of dried chilies just for a little bit of background heat. I've not broken the chilies up because if you don't break them up, it doesn't go too hot. I've also got a bit of ground turmeric, and this gives a lovely bit of colour. Right, I'm going to put some salt in there. This is low salt, by the way, so it looks more than what it is. And have a taste of this. Remember, this is going to cook and it's going to develop. You're not going to get all the taste immediately. Definitely a lot better with the salt. That's all the ingredients in there, and this is turning into the base sauce for the chicken. Take the ingredients of the chicken, the mushrooms and the onions, and put them in the other pan where the sauce has got to the right taste. With a slotted spoon, take these ingredients and transfer them over here. It's all coated, the mushrooms are in there, the garlic, the onions, and what we do is cover this over now, and we let this gently simmer for about 10 minutes on number 5 or a medium heat if you're using gas. We're done, here we are. That turned out quite well. Done 6 pieces of chicken. We've got a lovely sauce to go with it, and it's cheap. It's easily affordable for anybody. So what we do is have a little taste of this and see what it's like. Come on, Jack, come and have a taste. Have a taste, Jack, and see what you think.
Right, let's get a bit of chicken.
I'm bound to be biased. I cooked it, so I'm going to say it tastes great.
Let's get a bit of that in.
A bit of sauce?
Yeah, one in row. Bit of sauce, and then let's see. Let's have a go.
If you want, you can take the skin off to make it a few less calories. Indian?
Yeah, it's nice. It basically tastes like whole bits of chicken with corn sauce.
Right.
But it is nice, and the idea of it is using what is in your cupboard to make something cheap.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to get the most expensive chicken or, you know, the most expensive cheese, like Dad said.
No.
If you've got the things in your cupboard, whack it in.
Yeah, you can make it. You can make it taste better by using wine for your base and things like that. But the idea of this one is use either Indian, Chinese, Italian, whatever you've got in your cupboard. Makes it very affordable. So I hope you enjoyed it, and watch again next week, and we'll do another video and see if we can do something good then as well. Thanks for watching. See you soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Don't forget, like and subscribe.
Yeah, it really helps the channel, and if you actually click the like button and turn on the bell to get notifications for when we post. And also, we've had a lot of people saying they can't find the bios and the recipes. If you click on the comment section just below the video, you'll get a drop down menu and you'll be able to see absolutely everything. Okay,
There we are.
cool.
Thanks for watching.
Guys.
See you soon.